Good morning. I want to encourage you this morning. I want to check in this morning before the day starts taking off. I wanted to just sit with y'all for a moment. I woke up a little bit different than I normally do. I woke up a little bit unsure, have some grief that's going on. Um, but I definitely want to just still jump on in the mornings and encourage and just offer, ways to ground yourself in your day. I know I'm not the only one who wakes up unsure. I know I'm not the only one who maybe has some doubt in the mornings. And so, even when you don't wake up feeling your strongest or your best, there are ways, there are small rituals, there are things you can do to ground yourself and keep it together, right? And so, I'm going to start with just a quick breathing exercise. And so, if you want to breathe with me, feel free. So take one moment and inhale and exhale. And what that does, you can take more time doing it. I like to do it a lot. I like to do 4, 7, 8 breath or just take deep breaths. It just helps ground you. It helps your body calm down and just stay grounded. And so thank you if you took that moment with me. And I want to go through a few points that can help you set your day. And so, point one is you need to set the tone for your day before it starts, right? You can't let the world decide how your morning goes because they will. The world will decide, right? You need to set the tone. So, if you wake up with doubt, if you wake up with a heavy emotion, grounding yourself and having your own rituals can be very, very, very life changing, right? um Specific moments for me, I wake up and I journal. So the first thing I like to do is grab my journal, go to the page. This journal that I created has prompts in it, and so that could be helpful. But I also do morning pages, and morning pages is just you writing freehand 3 whole pages, and that's also helpful. I like to spend 30 minutes on that. I get my water, right? A lot of times I wake up, I grab my coffee. And then my next ritual is definitely starting my day with my steps. So I track my steps. I try to take 10,000 steps a day. And so if I can start with 30 to 45 minutes, that's like anywhere from 3,000 to 4,500 steps right there off the bat. So I'm already feeling like, I've accomplished something, right? But with the journal, it gives me a grounding, reflective practice, and it helps me reset my emotional baseline. So no matter what happened yesterday, I'm resetting myself, right? And it's very, very helpful. Something else, I was just on TikTok talking about this, is making your bed. And so taking care of your space. And when I was younger, I thought it was stupid. I would be like, why do I have to do this? I'm just going to mess the bed back up. And then I went through basic, and I told you all a few times, if you're new here, I've shared about my experience in basic training and how tough it has been. And so, I left basic and thought I'll never make a bed again. But I've grown up since then to realize there are benefits in grounding that space and in making your bed, right? And so definitely have you a few morning rituals, and they don't have to last long. They can be 5 minutes, right? It's just something that you do to set your day, or even setting some intentions. You're journaling and something may come up for you, and so you can set your intention right then, right there over your day. My next point is that you don't need morning confidence, you need morning clarity. So confidence is the result, but clarity is the starting point, right? And so if you use your journal, like I said in my example, or some sort of quiet time, it gives you direction, right? If your emotions feel scattered, like I said, I've experienced loss yesterday. So personally, your emotions can be scattered, your thoughts. You could be having a great day too. And maybe you need to recognize that on the page before you go out into the world, right? Because that also sets the tone. I don't want you to think it's always got to be like a heavy or bad emotion. It could be positivity. It could be a win from yesterday that you didn't take time to celebrate. And when you sit down and you journal and you reflect, that gives you the time to go like, "Oh yeah, I forgot this was a good thing," right? And so, right, it's listen, it's very important. And I think the positive remembrance has been more on my mind lately because for a long time I think I was skewed towards like overcoming and healing, and I had gotten so into that I forgot to count whatever the wins, could have been, right? And so, listen, you can ask yourself a few questions. What do I want to feel today, right? This is a guided prompt if you want to take it. And so I'll put it right here. So, what do I want to feel today? Is a really great question to ask yourself. And I did not used to ask myself these types of questions. And so what that would result in is that whatever came up, I went with it. And so instead of being stable, I was just going with whatever the wave was, right? And that's not always good. In fact, that's not good at all. You need to ground yourself. The wave needs to just move around you. You don't need to always, because then you'll be tossed to and fro. You never get grounded and you never accomplish what you want to accomplish either if you always go with this flow. And I'm a very chill person, right? Like I'm an ENFP on the Myers-Briggs. I'm like a Libra. Like I'm real, like, yeah, adaptability, go with the flow. Sometimes that has gotten me in trouble because I needed to set the flow, right? I needed to set it. So, and so the next prompt you can do, I'm inviting you into, what energy do I want to carry? That's a good question to listen. Ooh, I'm about to get off script, honey. It's a lot going on in the world. Baby, you'll be out here. It's a lot going on in the world. Okay. So you have to set your own energy, your own intentions, your own mindset, baby, because you leave out the door and you don't know what you're going to face, who you're going to face, how it's going to come at you. Okay. What energy do I want to carry? And then what do I want to show up as today? So that's open for interpretation. What or how do you want to show up, right? I want to show up maybe quieter. Some days I'm more reflective, believe it or not, because I do talk a lot. Some days I show up quieter. Again, that's when I'm more in a reflective space, right? Some days you want to show up for someone else. So you may be having like your energy might be more like open or holding space. So while it's quiet, it's supportive. So it's all kinds of ways that you may need to show up, right? And so, yeah, my next point, though, besides the prompts, is small morning wins build big confidence. And so the confidence, again, that's the result. But then the clarity is how you get there. And so having small morning rituals, small morning things that you do, you don't have to be perfect to feel successful. You just have to have an intentional win. And to have an intentional win, you have to set what that is. So for me, again, a lot of times my intentional win would be connected to I got my steps in, right? Or I spent time journaling and I have more clarity. And so listen, for you, it could be just taking that 5 minutes to have coffee to 10 minutes, right? Just to have your coffee. Somebody else, it could be prayer, it could be stretching. A lot of times before I take my walk, I do yoga stretching. I love yoga. Yes, I do yoga. So I'll do like 15, 20 minutes yoga. Sometimes it'll be 7 to 10 minutes just stretching and breathing. Sometimes I just do breath meditation, and all of these things are small wins and they keep me grounded, right? And so that's why my journal is a reflection practice, right? And it helps you to create small wins. You're getting reoriented with yourself, right? You're rewriting the narrative literally. So there are question prompts, right? And you are answering them like, um, how can you differentiate between constructive criticism and unhelpful negativity? Well, that's important, right? Because if you've experienced a lifetime of people just like berating you or being negative and critical, but it wasn't healthy, maybe it's time for you to understand how to tell the difference between constructive feedback that is going to help you and just somebody that's jealous and being critical and they want to tear you down. And so that may help you. You could do that journal prompt and go right to work, and your supervisor, right, could call you in with constructive criticism. but you've taken the time to identify what that sounds like. You've taken the time to deal with your emotions about the past and how criticism had been negative before, but now you can see clearer because you've released it on the page. Hello, release it on the page. Okay, I need to start saying that. Release it on the page, release it on the page, because that's really what you're doing. Okay, so listen, drop in the comments some small wins that you can give yourself before noon today, right? Please drop that in. Let me know. And what's an intention that you like to set in your mornings? What's a practice or a ritual that you go with? Like, as you can see, this morning I didn't even get to my walk yet. So I'm going to get right up here, get to my walk, right? Because I want to be intentional about that thing. I want to keep it up. And so you share in the comments, right? And if this helped you start your day, I don't know, my watch is doing something. But if this video helped you start your day, if you can see like the benefit in starting your day with a journal, check out my Rise, Thrive, and Flourish journal, right? It'll keep you grounded. It'll help you build confidence, right? And definitely look at the link, ladies, in my bio. It is a quiz, a free Unleash Your Confidence quiz, right? Check that out. It will help you unleash your confidence and it will identify areas where maybe you need to strengthen some of your confidence. And it's a fun test, and it's always great to get feedback about where you are. And so, listen, I want you to have a great day, right? Learn how to build up your confidence and have those small wins. And I will see you on the next video. Take care.